ず凄まじいほどの雷声だな。
The Warrior Princess and the Barbaric King. This was episode number 9, my friends. Like every week, like every show, like every episode, I'm going to share my opinion and you are welcome to disagree. Actually, I hope that's what you're coming here for, is to disagree, and let me know, let me know all of your thoughts in the comments on this episode. Now, for me, this episode was not only boring, it was contradictory. And I'm starting to realize just how much of like nothing burger this show really is. Now, don't get me wrong. It's had really good moments of fan service, and I really do genuinely like our character, Marcissus. I think that she's an interesting character that they're just not doing enough with, right? So she's a character who was from the church. She was an orphan. She lost some of her memory. She's from the church. She's very divinity-based. She's very church-based, and now she's here. But she just kind of been a background character as like background fodder for the bigger story, which is Saraphina. Saraphina herself, I go back and forth. Like, do I like her? Do I not like her? I like her reactions to 𝐕𝐴. But all this episode did was have her mull over what is she going to do, mull over her happiness versus her duty. We had a flashback showing her brother basically saying, Saraphina who? And then it flashed back to her and her falling in love with 𝐕𝐴. She's getting some armor created for her, and that's where they're gonna head next, right? They took his magical beast and they're gonna go ahead to the dwarf's place where her armor's being created out of mithril. So that's basically all that happened this episode, and Marcissus being witness to Saraphina basically choosing her life here versus her life that she could have or had or will have, but choosing it now here. And obviously Marcissus is going to have to make a choice for herself as well too, okay? That's all that happened this episode. Now, the contradicting part, the stuff that really frustrates me. As we get deeper into Saraphina's life here and 𝐕𝐴 and their capabilities and the magic and the different races and all the stuff that they have here, it is so apparent how much of a power gap there is between the barbarians and their lives and what they can do versus the common foot soldiers and the common soldiers of where Saraphina's from and the Empire, right? The way it was shown to us is their war was pretty... like there was some common ground there, and certain soldiers and fighters like Saraphina are the things that separated the war apart, where they could challenge some of the barbarians. But as we've gotten deeper, there is so much magic, so much magical capabilities, so much, magical weapons. At the end of the episode, 𝐕𝐴 changes his sword into a magical beast. So they have magical beasts that could flood in the common soldiers from the sky, wipe them out, and take them out. They also have relationships with fairies and fae who can beam in and beam out and use wind magic and water magic and fire magic. And they have relationship with elves that can use crazy magic. So they have all of these capabilities to blow up a whole entire land that was seemingly tip war in their favor more so than how close it was. So that's where the contradictions come in of like, okay, so this wasn't really like a war. Like they're just fighting because they like to fight, but they could wipe them out immediately. And that becomes an incredible frustrating thing to witness, to watch, and to see, because it's just so contradictory, right? They have access to mithril and different mines and different parts that they can make weapons and armor out of that blow everything that the Empire, where Saraphina is from, out of the water. And they have such a close relationship to nature that these guys are taking down sorry, they're taking down dragons, on the daily. They're taking, they're fighting for their lives on the daily, so much so that like having common soldiers threaten them is like nothing. So it becomes not only a bit boring, but where the show succeeds the most is focusing on the relationship between Saraphina and between 𝐕𝐴 and a little bit of fan service and a little bit of like, you know, ooh, the barbarian, you know, the beast is taking the beauty type deal. That's where it succeeds the most. But because they focus so much on everything else on her life here, they have focused so much on her being adapted to this life and everything, because they're showing us so much everything else but just the romance in the relationship. It's gotten me to focus on everything else, which is just so poorly written. That makes sense. I think this episode is 6 out of 10. And I think this show's going to go down. You know, we have 4 episodes left. 10, 11, 12. No, we have 3 episodes left. Hold on. There's 12 episodes. There's 9, 10, 11, 12. There have 3 episodes left. And I think this show's going to go down as one of the ones, like many others of many other seasons, of really high potential and a really good first impression that just did nothing with it. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Don't color me impressed, you know, or don't color me disappointed or impressed. I'm just somewhere in the middle. I'm just whelmed by this show. But it made such a really strong first impression. It's like, oh my God, look what kind of show we're going to get here. Kind of like the Isekai Worker anime. If you guys ever watched that, it's BL. I definitely recommend watching it if you can stomach BL, you know, if you're a man, or if, you know, if that's just not your thing. You know, some people who that's just, you know, it's not like they're like, oh, I'm opposed to it. It's just not their thing, you know, when it comes to Yuri or BL. But if you like it, there's an Isekai Worker anime. I forget what it's called. Hold on, let me look it up so you guys can watch it. Isekai Worker anime. Is that really what it's called? I just call it Isekai Worker, Isekai Office Worker. It's called Isekai Office Worker. The Other World's Books Depend on the Bean Counter. That one. It's BL. It's heavy BL, and it also makes a really strong impression. I watched it, and it's also dubbed. Very good. Very recommended. That is one that is also in the same vein of like making a really strong first impression. But it's actually really good. I really recommend it. It's not like gonna set the world on fire. It's like a 7 out of 10, but it's really strong, and I recommend watching that. Again, it is BL, so be aware of that. But it's one, you know, like in this show had the moment where like, oh, she saw Vior's elephant trunk, and I was like, oh, it's gonna continue to have those kinds of moments, and it just hasn't. You know, it's shown her like, you know, bathing or something, and it's like, okay, like where's the elephant trunk moments? This is one that I would recommend watching. It's very good. I think I have 2 episodes left. I think it's 13 episodes is its runtime. I think I watched up to 10 or 11, and my wife started watching it too. But we gotta watch it when the kids aren't home, obviously, because it's, you know, it's one of those anime. But I definitely highly recommend watching that. Again, it's BL, so just, you know, be aware of that. But very good. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about this show. But again, it's just a lot of potential. Did nothing with it. All right. Talk too long about other anime this episode. 6 out of 10. See you guys next week. Peace.